NAR settlement update. That is the focus of this video. Now, if you remember several months ago, we did a video just recapping what the National Association of Realtor legal settlement was about. It was $418 million worth. It was a lot of money, and what the repercussions were. So to recap that, there are two main things. One, that buyer broker commissions are no longer advertised across multiple list services around the country. In other words, when you as a seller advertise, you're going to sell your home, you offer commission, and you typically half of that was split with a buyer's agent that was bringing the buyer, and that was advertised in the multiple list service in a section where agents could see it, send notes to other agents. That no longer is legal, that no longer happens. And then the other main part of that settlement was that any agent opening a house for a buyer, before that house can literally be opened, we have to have a disclosure outlining what our services are, how we get paid, things of that nature. And so we have now started that process, August 17th, that just passed. That is in effect. And there's going to be another video probably at the end of this year with an update to the update because of this. Because housing is such a huge industry, such a huge part of our economy. And when you think of it, 85 to 90% of homes are bought and sold, using a licensed professional real estate agent. So when you're changing that much of the economy like this, and thousands upon tens of thousands of licensed realtors all have to change, it's going to be, excuse the expression, it's going to be a show, and put a blank in front of the show and you get what I'm saying. Like, there's going to be a new equilibrium that gets established. Right? That's what's going to happen. The things are going to be tried, discarded, some things will stick. But here are two things that I don't think are going to go away, or one of them needs to go away, really. But these are two takeaways for you, one as a buyer, one as a seller, that I think are really important. So first, for the seller. As a seller, commissions have always been negotiable, right? Whatever commission was negotiated, typically 50% of that was offered by your listing agent to the buyer's broker, right? Now we're seeing that's not so much 50-50, like the seller agrees, like, hey, you selling the house have to get paid. I don't want to offer anything to the buyer broker, or I'm going to offer something. And agents are, not all, but some agents are reaching out to the listing agent saying, hey, what's the compensation that's being offered? I found what I'm finding is regardless of what's being offered, so let's just say the seller was offering 2%. The buyer writing the offer, the buyer broker writing the offer, has their own compensation agreement with their buyer, and they're putting in typically 3% or 2.5% or whatever it is into the offer they submit. So for a seller, the point being, here's the nuts and bolts of it. The commission offered to the buyer broker is now another line item of negotiation when you're negotiating the sale of your home. Not on the front end when you're listing the home, but when you actually get an offer. So think of it. What are things that you've negotiated in the past? Closing costs, price, of course, concessions like maybe a home warranty, or include the refrigerator, washer, and dryer. Just add another line item to those things that we have to take in consideration. Buyer broker commission, right? Even if you say, I'm not offering anything to the buyer's broker on the front end, expect that to be in the offer when you receive it, that the buyer is trying to get you as the seller to compensate some of the fee that they're paying to their buyer broker, some if not all. So just think of it in terms of, it's another line item that we have to negotiate, that you're hiring us, whoever your agent is, to negotiate for you. That's why really you need a great negotiator when you're selling your home especially. So that's point one, right? Line item to negotiate as a seller. Number two, for the buyers, here's what we found. We have to have these disclosures signed before we can open a house. Otherwise, we can get big trouble, big fines. We don't want that. It's not worth it. And so our ideal situation really is just to sit down and consult with you to show you what our services are and what you can expect in the process of buying a home, whether it's your first home or your 10th home here in Louisiana or wherever you're buying a home. We also understand that's not always practical. You might be visiting from out of town. You might be coming from Mississippi. It's closer to need at the house. So we understand that. And we're finding, however, that buyers are signing agreements with everybody left and right. So somebody might have signed a buyer 3 or 4 times, and then they enter into then they're in a pending sale with somebody, and you're getting 2 or 3 agents saying, hey, this person signed a buyer broker with me. That is causing a problem. And so we have different forms that we use to help you as a buyer identify, like, hey, have you signed with somebody else? Or if so, what name those properties? Is it exclusive? Is it non-exclusive? Not good for the buyers. Don't sign anything until you've chosen an agent, until you really find somebody that you trust, that you like, confident, that can help you to the best of their ability and get you what you're looking for, whether it's the house, whether it's the terms, and the service. I mean, it's all of the above, really. If you're going around signing 3 or 4 buyer agency agreements, you're not getting cancellations on them, you potentially could be setting yourself up for just a legal nightmare. You will get demand letters from attorneys. It's already happening. And we're only, like, by the time you watch this, 2 weeks in. So just be careful. If you sign something and you want to sign with somebody else, make sure you cancel the one beforehand. And don't go around town just signing forms, because all of these say this is a legally binding contract. And what's going to happen is that the people that are really going to win are a lot of attorneys. And I know a lot of great attorneys, great people. I am not knocking them. But there are going to be some folks out there that take advantage of this and find a way to make money and get paid because of another lawsuit spurning off of this previous lawsuit. So just word to the wise, word to the buyers, please don't go signing forms all around town. All right, take the time, do your due diligence. And if you're limited on time, do a Zoom call with somebody. Right? And if you're limited on time, just don't sign anything. If you're going to make a house purchase, great. All right, that's a big process. That's a lot of money. I don't care who you are. So make sure you're taking the time to make sure it's the right house, but also you've got the right person representing you. So enough about that. Stay tuned for probably another update before the end of the year. Like I said, simply because this is a fluid situation. A new equilibrium will be established, and we're just getting started. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, feel free to subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
My name is Blake DeBott. I'm with Magnolia Home and Auto. Living in the Gulf South means we must always be prepared for the possibility of a hurricane arriving with little warning. To ensure you're ready in case a storm heads our way, here are a few essential tasks to be handled beforehand. Number 1. Review your insurance policy. Double check that your policy is active and hasn't been canceled. Sometimes cancellation notices can get lost, leaving you without coverage. Confirm that your policy is in place and has been paid. Take the time to understand your coverages and deductibles, and don't hesitate to discuss any uncertainties with your agent. Number 2, gather important documents. If you have flood or homeowners insurance, make sure you have copies of the policy's declaration page. Be sure to take these documents with you if you have to evacuate. Number 3, keep contact information handy. Obtain direct contact numbers for your insurance carrier so you can file a claim if necessary. During a storm, power outages may make it difficult to reach your agent, so having the carrier's contact information on hand will help you start the claims process promptly. Number 4, document your belongings. Prior to a hurricane's arrival, take video and photos of your home and its contents. This documentation should include all interior furniture, electronics, clothing, and other valuables. Don't forget to capture the entire exterior of your home, including the roof's condition, as well as any detached structures. By completing these tasks in advance, you can better protect yourself and your property in case of a storm. Being prepared ensures a smoother claims process and gives you peace of mind during uncertain times. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out via phone or email, and stay safe.